Today, we're going to dive into what it is to live love every day with your thoughts and feelings. And so, this is a really fundamental day because so much of everything else that you're dealing with really comes down to how you are dealing with your thoughts and your feelings, right? So, lots of the people that you're encountering, the situations that you're encountering, what you're experiencing is how you feel about those things, what your emotions are regarding all of those things. So let's start with looking at what is not living love every day with your thoughts and feelings. So it's very popular right now to have the idea that you should either get rid of your thoughts altogether, right? Like completely eliminate your mind, or to believe that you should be replacing thoughts with other thoughts, right? And similar ideas are prominent about your emotions as well. The idea that you should be managing your emotions in such a way that you have more of what you consider to be positive emotions and less of what you consider to be negative emotions. And what I'm inviting you into is something so much more true to the truth of your being than all of this constant policing and manipulation. Okay, so those things can be a step if you're starting from a point where you feel completely at the mercy of your thoughts and your emotions, if you feel completely like that they're just always happening to you. So to have that recognition that you can interact with them in a new way, of course, is great. But what I would offer you is that there's not even any such thing as far as your emotions. Let's start there, as a positive or negative emotion. Your emotions exist on a spectrum, just like the different colors that are different wavelengths of light, right? So blue might be your favorite color, maybe you don't like orange as much, right? But that doesn't mean that either blue or orange are fundamentally good or bad. They're just different, right? And what they both are is still white light, right? What happens when you take pure light and you put it through a prism, the prism then separates that light into all these different wavelengths that then we see as the spectrum of colors. So it's the same with our emotions. So what you hear me refer to as love is the same as that pure light. And then that gets split into all the different range of feelings and emotions that we can experience. And so what I'm offering you is that if you dive into the center of any experience, any emotion, what you're going to find there is what I'm referring to as love, because all of those feelings are made of love, even though they all have these different ways of showing up once they've sort of been split into these different experiences. The same way, red and yellow look different, but without them being made of light, we're not going to see them at all in the first place. Okay? So, and then as far as your thoughts go, the key with being in a loving relationship with your mind is very simple. Okay, so lots of people come to me and tell me that they've tried so hard to quiet their mind, and my mind's driving me crazy, and my mind is trying to sabotage me, or my ego's trying to sabotage me, all those kinds of things. And the reality is that your mind is built a certain way. There are certain things that it's capable of and certain things that it's not capable of. And there's been a misunderstanding along the way in which your mind has believed that lots of things are in its job description that are not, right? It has taken on the burden and responsibility of all sorts of things that are actually out of its control and out of its capacity, like protecting you, fixing your life, keeping you safe, all kinds of things, solving things that it just doesn't know how to solve yet, right? Because it hasn't experienced that before. And so the reason this becomes an issue is that your mind, like anything and everything else, is just hoping to reunite with love, to experience love. So your mind goes on this quest in which it is tireless, right? And you probably know that if you found yourself sort of with thoughts running at 3 a.m, right? It will tirelessly work to do these things that aren't actually in its job description, that it thinks it needs to do in order to prove itself to you and ultimately earn your love. So what I recommend is this, that you start to cultivate offering your mind love first, okay? And in particular, when you find yourself in the situation that you feel like you're just having too many thoughts, or that you're having thoughts that feel negative to you, or whatever it is, take a nice deep breath and let your mind have its say, right? Go ahead and interact with your mind. Go, okay, tell me everything, sweetheart. What are all the things that you're concerned about? So instead of trying to stop or silence those thoughts, let those thoughts go ahead and put themselves out into the open, okay? And then acknowledge and thank your mind. Let your mind know, you know what? I hear you, and I appreciate that you are looking to protect me, that you are trying to solve this for me, that you are, right, whatever it is that your mind is trying to do. And I already love you. I already love you. I already love you. And it's not just saying that, right? It's not saying it from a place of, oh, Rebecca told me this thing I can do, that if I say to my mind, I already love you, it's going to shut up finally, right? It's not that. It's genuinely letting yourself feel in your heart the kind of love that you would want to receive if you were just working and working and working tirelessly to the best of your ability without getting any acknowledgement. Okay? And then if you had for years done that and been told, shut up, you're bothering me, you're ruining everything. Okay? That's what your mind needs from you. Your mind needs that level of genuine love that you're offering out to it, letting it know, oh boy, there's been a big misunderstanding, and I'm not looking to silence you or reject you or treat you as wrong. You don't have to prove yourself to me in order to earn my love. I already love you. I already love you. Okay? And really feeling that. And you'll notice your mind is able to just relax into that. Okay. And it's obviously not a one-time thing. All right. It's something to cultivate the same way that there's in the past been a habit of rejection and telling your mind to shut up or hoping that your mind will shut up. It's now acknowledging, thanking, and loving. Okay. So a very similar thing happens with your emotions. There's a tendency, and that everyone has also been conditioned into this, so it's been heavily reinforced to reject your emotions, especially certain emotions that you have been told or taught are wrong to experience, or that you have reinforced to yourself that you don't want to experience because they feel uncomfortable to you. So here's what we're going to unravel there. The main discomfort of any emotion is actually the discomfort that comes with your rejection of that emotion. Okay? Any and every emotion is finite. So we tend to reject it because we think that, like, if we let it out into the open, it might last forever. Okay? But no emotion will actually last forever. What can seem to last forever is when it's moving slowly or moving not at all, completely stagnant, because of the level to which we are rejecting it and not letting it have its complete freedom of movement that it needs. When it has that complete freedom of movement, when you are completely at ease with experiencing any and every emotion, then any emotion will arise, and it will dissipate because it has run its course. It has had the space that it needs to come out into the open, and when it has all of that space, then it dissipates. Okay, that's just the nature of how this energy moves in the first place. All right, so let's play with that for a minute. Take a nice deep breath. And bring into your attention a feeling or emotion that you've had a tendency to reject. So whether you don't like to feel sad, or you don't like to feel angry, or you don't like to feel fearful. And by the way, a lot of this then gets even more reinforced once you start down like sort of a path of self-development, because then you get told on top of everything, and the same goes for your thoughts, right? Is that, oh, don't mess up your vibration. Don't have negative thoughts. You're going to manifest that. You're going to all of that. So you may have, if you've been in a personal development or spiritual journey, now even more layers of conditioning that give you reasons to reject your honest, genuine thoughts and feelings. And I'm here to give you permission to relieve yourself of that, because the reality of how harmoniously you're experiencing the world, right, or what people call you having a high vibration or anything like that, is not tied to having any particular experience of a thought or feeling, right? It's tied to whether things are open and in motion and in flow, or whether they are stagnant and being suppressed and being rejected, okay? So you're either open or not. And so open means being open to joy, and being open to anger, and being open to, just ecstatic bliss, and being open to agonizing sadness. All right? And the more that you're open to all of those, the more that you're going to notice, especially after sort of an initial time of resolving some of like the backlog of what's been rejected for a long time, right? That's going to, once it realizes, oh, there's some openness here, there are things that will start arising that you thought were long resolved, or that you hadn't addressed in a long time. They need that space, okay? So when you bring into your attention a feeling that you have a tendency to reject, whatever that might be, what if you didn't know anything about that feeling? What if you didn't know that you don't like sadness? What if you didn't know that anger is bad? What if you didn't know that you think it's not positive to experience fear? Whatever the feeling is that you don't like, take a nice deep breath and invite it to just arise in your attention now, and give yourself permission to feel it and experience it fully, exactly as it is right now, with curiosity. What if you're willing to be curious about this feeling, curious about the experience of this emotion? And what if you're willing to just dive right into the center of it? Just let it surround you completely. Let yourself be so entirely intimate with it, with a curiosity about discovering what it's really made of, what really exists at the center of it, what really exists on the other side of it. And so importantly, not any of this with the attitude, oh, this is going to get rid of it. Okay? It's got to be a genuine curiosity and a genuine experiencing just for the sake of it. Because that's what changes everything. So many people are on a quest to, like I said before, manage their emotions or reach some point where, they only feel joy or peace or love, and not feel the things that they think are the opposite of that. And while you're a human being on earth, that's not really a real thing, okay? What you can have, though, and what is incredibly peaceful and ecstatic and even beyond description, is to have a different relationship with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, with your entire experience of life. Because when that relationship shifts, then you can have peace even while you're experiencing anger. You can have joy even through the experience of sadness, right? Because like I said before, what's most difficult about why so many of your emotions have gotten a bad rap right now is that it is uncomfortable and it is out of harmony to reject them. So when you reject them, then suddenly you're closed off and you're not going to feel like yourself, because you're not going to feel that open flow that is natural to you. Okay, so I have some resources for you today as well. You'll notice at the bottom of this page, there's a link that says shift into peace. So there's a process there that you can use all the time that is going to help you shift how you're feeling regardless of what your starting point is. And so because of this, I highly recommend that you also incorporate this even when you feel great, right? Because that's part of what being closed off is that then we miss out on so much of the love and the joy that are available and just the delight that's available to us, because we're just trying to not experience the thing. Like, we think that being closed off is going to save us from experiencing more of the things that we think are bad or negative or heavy. And in reality, it's closing us off also from experiencing so much of what people say that they would like to experience more of. Okay. And remember that the key here is really curiosity. Okay. To be open and curious and genuinely in a lighthearted place of exploration about what's going on in your experience, about what the experience of your thoughts and feelings is like, rather than approaching it with an agenda and an expectation that says, these are the things that I'm not supposed to think or feel, so how do I get the next latest trick to get rid of them in some way? Okay? So enjoy exploring that.